AstraERP.com is an online platform that helps businesses grow by offering business-related software and professional advisory services. How? Astra HR helps you manage all your human resource related functions. Astra Payroll helps you process your payroll and generate the appropriate reports such as SNIT, GRA taxes, and payslips. Astra Accounting helps you do proper bookkeeping, generate all relevant financial reports, receipts, invoices, and track your business performance. Astra Inventory helps you record sales with our POS function, track your inventory, and manage the stock of your business. We also help you request professional services such as accounting and auditing services on AstraERP.com. Visit our website at www.astraerp.com to sign up or talk to us directly on 0244 896544 or 0503 456876. You can also send us an email on business@astraerp.com. Astra ERP. Manage your business with ease.
Is concerned. Now, I did mention somewhere that money and its related activities can be either concerning what is coming in or what is going out. So we call them expenses when they are going out or money is being taken out of the business for the purpose of the business. And we call it monies coming in and therefore revenue when they are being added to the little or the few or the more we have. Okay, so every form of transaction that makes you take money out of the business to a third party, whether it is to pay salaries of staff or it is to pay someone that also rendered a service for the business, or it is to pay the regulatory authorities as in taxes or the likes, or it is to buy a software or to procure a consultancy service, we call all of them expenses. And just as you are handing over the money to those people, it must be recorded. It must be written down. You must keep a record of that in the shape that better explains what you are doing. Please, are you with me? Good.
Yes.
In the same way, monies that are coming into the business through sales, or let's say loan having taken, or an investment that is coming in, capital injection whatsoever, it equally requires that you record it and keep the record in the shape that makes processing the same data possible. Over the years, as I did mention, in our area of consultancies, we have attempted raising funds for, young businesses. But one challenge we have had throughout these times is that a company may exist for 3 years, which should be the years that an investor would want to be given to trust an idea, to say that this idea is one that is worthy of an investment, so I can put my money in. When we approach them wanting them to put in their money into these businesses of the young ones, one thing we always realize as the challenge is that they have no record of proving how much money has been invested in the business and how they were spent. Where they usually investors are not interested in whether the business has been profitable for the last 3 years. No, they are very much interested in how disciplined you are in spending the little that you put into the business, and your ability to keep the records just so that you can prove to them that if you give me 100,000 Ghana cedis, just as I could keep record of the 20,000 I had to begin the business with, I can equally keep the records and then tell you what we use the money for. So that if tomorrow you want to look at it, you can say that you spent 3,000 on that. I think you could have spent 2,000. If the records are not there, it becomes difficult for them to trust you with the money they know you need to just progress in the business. So with this, I would want to say that record keeping cannot be overemphasized as far as business and its prosperity is concerned. So in this regard, I would want to say that every penny, every peso that leaves the company, that leaves the business, whether it is a sole proprietorship which belongs to you yourself, no matter what business you are doing, a fashion design, what are you doing? Are you an IT person? Are you a consultant? What are you doing? Are you selling your own thing? Every peso that you spend on the business, please keep a simple record of it. Record it somewhere, first of all, and then have a place where you can keep it permanently so that you can better analyze it and know the effect of it. So here I would want to say that there are two very strong areas where record keeping is required. The first one is the expenditure bit. The second one is the revenue bit. Revenue or income. Income, basically, if you hear income, it's not always revenue. Revenue is the money you realize on selling something or transacting in a business. Income, revenue is in income or under income. And income can equally be funds that has come in from another source. Grants could be an income to you. It's not necessarily revenue. Capital injection comes in and adds to your cash flow. It doesn't mean it is your revenue. Again, revenue is very different from your profit. We want to re-emphasize on this. Revenue is very different from your profit. In the Ghanaian area of business, we also have found out that when people make revenue from their sales, they almost are spending it as if that is a profit having been made. And we find ourselves in trouble. What we are saying, we're saying that expenditure or record keeping is the fundamental of accounting. Now, when these records are kept, I'll come back to show how some of these records must be kept, the shape and form that is supposed to be. After having kept the record, the next stage is to process the record or summarize them and put them into positions or states that will be able to communicate properly to your superiors. So all expenses put together, they are classified into direct expenditure and then indirect expenditure. The indirect expenditure basically are also classified under the various expenditure items. For example, if we're in a company, one expenditure that is basic is paying of salaries, the payment that goes to staff. Another expenditure basically could be transport you pay on rounds that are made by your teams. Another expenditure could be IT or internet that you have to buy. Communication expenses. We have electricity and water. We have sanitation. When you are spending all these, you record them, the money, the purpose, and then the date. These are very key. The amount that is being spent, the purpose for which the amount is being spent, the date that it was spent. Then who authorized the payment, who said it should be paid, and who received it. These two people usually will have to sign to the physical or the hard copy document that you kept the record on. Now, when these records are kept or you get these records on a hard copy, the next option is that it has to be entered somewhere. It has to be entered somewhere. This is where Astra ERP comes in. It has to be entered somewhere. You need to keep it. Having recorded it is one thing in your hard copy or your source document, and then keeping it for a good processing, the summary will be done for you, and all these things are very key, very, very important. Now, when it is revenue, you equally have to record the date the transaction took place, what kind of revenue that is coming in. Is it sale of something or consultancy work to who? It must be recorded. Then the amount must be recorded. If you issued an invoice to somebody, then it must be in the form of an invoice or a receipt having issued to somebody with your own copy kept. Then after these things, you will record the transactions equally in your software, which helps better in our case, Astra ERP, to help you. Now, when they are recorded, as I did mention, it must be summarized. all revenue must be kept in one ledger, or expenditure in another ledger in their various line items. Then from there, these transactions are put into a state where it communicates the company's performance. Now, I did mention as I was going along that some people have the character of spending revenue as though they are profits. It still doesn't mean profit must necessarily be spent, but yes, if you have an option to spend, it is your profit that you may decide on spending. It is not your revenue, neither is it your capital. So the records having been kept must be analyzed into the form where it determines the performance of the business, whether or not the business is making profit or loss, whether or not you are creating value or you are deteriorating in value as a company. So when these are done, we get what we call profit and loss account, or in our case, income statement. Income statement. Income statement is basically the revenue having been made with all expenses that were necessary to be made to making sure the revenue you made could be possible. So you set your revenue against your expenditure. And if the revenue becomes more than your expenditure over a period, you can declare, you then have a profit declared at the end of it. Now, one thing we should understand in all this is that every one transaction that is undertaken in business, monetary transaction, has a tax effect or consequence. It's either the transaction itself is taxable, or it will result in you making profit that shall be taxed over a period. So every one financial transaction that one makes in a business, whether capital injection or payment to outsiders or revenue coming in, one must have the perspective that those things are possible in there. Please, are we on the same line?
Yes, we are.
Great. So from there, when it's summarized and then put into the form that is required for decision making, we always must make sure all that we are doing is headed at promoting the business. Now, these I'm talking about is the accounting side of the business. And I still want to repeat, I desire to make it as simple as I can in this case. So if questions are coming, we may be looking at them going forward. But I want to touch on finance specifically. Whenever you hear finance, we are talking about the unit value of something, the value of something, the financial value of an aspect of human life or an entity or something. Now, financing can be done in diverse ways. But when you hear the word finance, that we are looking at the unit value, we are looking at the value, the allocation, and the impact that thing has on an individual, an entity, or an organization. The allocation, the use, the value, and then the effect of these monies on an entity or an individual or an organization. Now, finance is very key to making a business even first of all survive or prosper. We usually say that I'm starting a business, I don't have the money, or I don't have the money to even begin with, or people are not investing in the business. If you don't keep your records well or get it right to the accounting bit of work, it always becomes, if not impossible, very difficult for you to raise funds or to accumulate funds or to be able to get monies coming in for your business use. So accounting and finance usually moves together, but finance is more of the allocation bit of the values that we have. Now, when you talk about finance, funding a business can be done through two main ways. Funding can be done through capital injection or debt. So capital, we mean equity or debt. On the capital bit, we are talking about the money that the owners of the business or the person who owns the business inject into the business for the running of it. When you're talking about the debt side of finance, we are talking about whether it is loan that you took from somewhere or credit advancement from friends, or the product or service that you are in, having procured it on credit for sale so that you pay the person that gave it to you back. These two forms, we always would want to give a credit or a higher option to the equity side, because in our case, taking a loan or getting a loan from the bank to do business has been, if not impossible, very, very, very difficult. So that is basically the bit on financing. Now, if your record keeping, your accounting principles are not met, if you don't keep your accounting principles in good shape, if you're not loyal or judicious in following the accounting requirements of business, it becomes difficult to managing even a business to a point. So these are some of the tools that we use to manage our accounting and finance in business. I'm moving from record keeping to budgeting. Budgeting. A budget is a tool that helps you to forecast what you intend to spend and what you expect to make as revenue. And even to the point where you can deduce what you expect to make as a return or profit over your investment period. So you got to budget, you got to have cost principles, and then you got to decide on whether you're going to go by the accrual concept or the cash-based accounting principle. Budgeting is as important as record keeping. As individuals, we usually say that we don't have, our salaries are enough. And this, I'm talking about those of us who earn salary in a way. We always say that our salaries are not enough. But it is said that monies not budgeted for are surely trashed or wasted. Monies not budgeted for are surely trashed or wasted. This therefore make it as important as everything to a business, what we call budgeting. So monthly, businesses are advised to put down their expected expenditure items and then make sure they keep to spending their monies according to as they have planned to do, so that when the period ends, they will compare. They will compare the expenditure as they have made, the actual expenses, to what they budgeted for. This way, by way of comparing, they are able to understand whether or not what they budgeted for was realistic or not. And if they were realistic, it means that yes, they were within or they went beyond. Sometimes you understand from your analysis that the monies you budgeted for were too much, or it was way below what actually is the true cost. These help you keep track of how the business and the mechanisms around your own business is. Usually, we want to say that businesses are different, not in their nature, but in the way they are managed. One can choose to invest more in professionals so that he keeps his business at a particular level against competitors. Another person may choose to rather keep his product and then how service will be rendered to others as his own core value so that he will keep competition ahead, even though the business may be the same. This is a way that Astra is trying to go with the kind of, services that we are providing for our prospective customers and then the people that we seek to serve. So here are a few that I desire to talk about now. I would want to urge our facilitator, look into the chat room, or we open a space for our colleagues. If there are questions, we can look at before we proceed on the next thing to be done. Edwin, over to you, please.
Thank you very much. Please, if you have any question, you can just let me know in the chat room so that I call your name out for the. I call your name out for you to ask your question and the host to respond. Please. If you have any question, just give me a sign in the chat room for me to call your name out. Please, any question at this stage? Mr. Mita, I think the questions may come later, so you can. Okay, sorry. Mavis says she wants to ask a question. Please, Mavis, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Mita, for the insights you are giving us. And please, I want to ask with the accounting bit. So does it mean I can take that myself with the explanation you are giving now? Take that accounting bit myself, though I'm not an accountant, and then go by with the explanation you just gave, or I could still go ahead and employ someone and then give that portion to us a startup, or maybe I'm already into the business myself. Or please, can you help me with that?
Good. Yes, so I want to attempt that.
Okay, you can go ahead.
We always will say as accountants that it's always better for businesses to employ professional accountants to take their role in the business. Because if for nothing at all, they have been schooled to do that, and they will better do their work compared to the mission bearer or the investor or the business owner who may not himself be an accountant. However, depending on the stage that the business is in, and then your abilities, and this I'm talking about your financial abilities, you may have to do some of these things yourself, depending on the volumes of work that comes, and then the kind of requirements that are available at the stage that you are in. So as, let's say, an entrepreneur or a business owner who have not the capacity now to employ an account clerk or a professional accountant, we want to say that just employ the habit of keeping records on the little and the bits of expenses and then revenue or transaction that you are going through daily as you pursue the business always. Please, these are fundamentals. You may not be able to put it in the shape that will make it make good meaning for you. But these are some of the reasons why we recommend Astra ERP. I'm sure they, as we go along, they will talk a bit about it. Edwin and the team will talk more about that. But Astra ERP is there to help you keep the records even as a business owner, okay? Which equally can also help with your account clerk do that better. But it is very key. In any case, you go to account for every transaction. In any case, whether you have the account person to support you or not, it is a responsibility that goes with making sure the business first survives to the business progressing. If you don't keep the records, if you're not interested in keeping the records, you wouldn't have the data or the information to even analyze to see the performance of the business and to take critical decisions on the next thing to do at every point in time. Mavis, I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you for your nice question.
Please, any other question at this stage? Please, if you have a question, you can just type any figure, any letter, and I'll call you to ask your question. Okay. Mr. Mita, please, I think you can go ahead. If there are any persons who will come back.
Great. All right, so let me emphasize why accounting is key. And then using software like Astra is very, very important. Like I did mention, my profile suggests that I'm doing a lot of things at the same time. Look at me sitting here, not too old, but I have a chunk of work on my hands as a finance person. For this reason, I have decided to automate some of them and then keep my hands on the ones that needs just a push to make them possible. We are fond of doing the business that we are in with all the energy we have, but keeping little of the records that must be kept. I did tell you that, let me bring this in. Over the COVID period, I got an opportunity to align some investors to some companies available. I mean, the person that wanted to invest had the money and wanted some young businesses, or let's say SMEs in Ghana that I can vouch for. So he put his money in. I believe that as at then, a $5,000 in investment into a business could have done so many things for, businesses in the year that we had the COVID experience. But what happened was that those young companies that I requested for, they couldn't provide us with transactional performance for just 3 months period. And that was very painful. They couldn't tell how much was made with the records already kept. They couldn't tell how much has been spent with record already kept. But you could see their business. Doing a lot of things that you could see if they get a little push, they'll be able to do better. But there was no record to suggest that if you should leave your money with me, I'll be able to explain with evidence how we use the money for, and therefore what we are going to use the next money that we have for. In this case, as people that are related to various businesses, please, in this my conclusion message, in any case, I would want to play with all of us. If you don't have an accountant to do these works for you, please keep some of these works for yourself and then employ softwares that will help you make this thing easy. Keep the record. Keep the record. Keep your record. Do your budget. Keep your record. Keep the source document record. Keep the supporting record that gives you evidence of monies having paid out. Keep records of evidence of monies having received. Get your file. File this hard copy receipts and hard copy invoices in there. Make sure they have dates. Make sure someone signed to it. If it's from a third party, you bought something from them, pick your receipt and file it. If you have a car that you use for the business, it may be registered in your name, but as a startup, you'll be using it for the business. When you buy your fuel, please take receipt and then keep the receipt. Record the amount you have on the receipt somewhere. In our case, you do that in your Astra ERP, then keep the hard copy. When you get to a time you want to analyze it, at this time, the software can help you. If you still need better understanding of it, people like us are always there to help you analyze it so that it makes meaning for you. We are there to help scale up, but it becomes somehow difficult if you don't get data to remain on for decision on the next thing to be done. I believe that this exercise that we are doing, which may continue with time, will be there to help you. This afternoon or this evening, as I said, the emphasis or the objective was that we just provide the fundamentals to accounting and finance, saying that let record keeping be your portion, and surely you shall see the business get to a point. Thank you so much. I think at this time, I'll make way for Edwin, who will come in with the next thing to be done.
Please, I'm sharing my screen. Before Mr. Minta ended, there was an emphasis that he kept making. He said, keep the record, keep the record. And before he started the whole thing, he mentioned of the challenge that businesses face, as we don't know, we don't have record of where the money is going and where the money is coming. Keep the record. He said, keep your receipts. And Mavis asked a question and he explained it for him. Keep the record, keep the record. Emphasis made, please. To keep the record, you have an Astra ERP, a platform that will help you keep the record. A platform that will help you to keep the receipts, because Emmanuel also mentioned that keep the hard copy. Whilst keeping the hard copy, sometimes you may lose it, you may even misplace it. So it's better to also keep the soft copy of your receipt so that in case of anything, you can just print it out. So at the end of this whole thing, they said every transaction should also be put in a statement or in a state that will communicate better to your superiors at the end of everything. And this is where Astra ERP comes in. So when you see the platform, you can just visit www.astraerp.com. You sign up and it will open this interface for you. So we have the payroll, the accounting, HR, inventory, and customer relationship management. So since Mr. Minta, our focus today was on accounts. I'll quickly open the account for us here. So on our left side, just to re-emphasize what was mentioned, it said keep the record, the expense, where money is going, the revenue, the monies that are coming in. So if you look at this page, we have the expense. So every expense, every money that is going out of the company, you can record it here. And if you want to keep the receipt, you look at this page, there is an attachment. This gives you an opportunity to scan your receipt, scan every document, and attach it to an expense that you've made. So at the end of the day, you will know the receipt, the date, everything. So this is an aspect that will help you to know every money that is going out of your company. And when you come to this place, we have credit and cash sales. These are part of your revenue. So Astra also opportunity to record sales that you made, whether the sale was on credit or the customer paid with ready cash. So everything is also recorded here. At the end of everything, we give you the opportunity when there is any opportunity that comes and they are asking of some reports, the system calculates or the system works out every report for you based on the entries that you've made. So if, as Mr. Minta said, we need an income statement, we need your balance sheet, we need to know the taxes, your daily sales, where the monies are going, how you spent. We need a documented or a well-structured a report for it. Astra also does all these things for you. So please, that is Astra. All the problems that was stated, Astra is there to solve that problem for you. So please, we are so grateful. Someone is asking a question, please. Let me quickly check. Philip is saying, what would be the elements of the cost center? Please, Philip, can you say, add your number to it? You can add your number to, we don't want to take the 30 minutes, the 5:30, we want to do everything in time. So we will contact you and have a deep understanding of your business. That's much more important to us than, that's much more important to us than the cost. So we want to understand your business. We want to know what goes in and what goes out of the business. Okay, so please, if anybody is also interested in what I just said, you can just send me your number so that we contact you and we'll take. So we have about 12 minutes to finish. If anyone is interested with all that is
12 minutes to finish.
12. We started 4:30.
Wow.
We started 4:30 and it's 5. We were supposed to end at 5:30. So if anybody, all that Astra has done. So the income and expenditure, where money is coming from, Astra provides you with the opportunity, and the expense. Let me quickly run something. So the expense. Okay, let me edit one. Okay, so you see the expense, the location of your warehouse. It gives you the date, the payment account, the vendor or the supplier that you are making this expense to, and the account. There is a chart of accounts where every account your business operates, you can easily record it. So at the end of the day, during the reporting, you will know how much was spent on, let's say, delivery, how much was spent on utilities, and it gives you that structure. That is how easy Astra wants to make your business appear for you. So please. Okay. Yes, Kingsley, you will get the recording. We recorded the meeting, so please, you will get it. I'm coming to add a number here so that any follow-up question concerning this meeting, you can just call the number. Okay, so please, I'm adding the number. The number is 0244-896544. If you have any question, or if any question comes to mind later on and you want to follow up of all that was discussed here, please, you can call the number 0244-896544. And those who also need the recording of this, please call the number 0244-896544. You are welcome. So please, if there are no questions, the number is 0244-896544. 0244-896544. Yes. 0244-896544. Any question that you ask, you will get a response to that. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. So at this juncture, we will bring our meeting to a close. Mr. Emmanuel Minta, we are so grateful. Everyone who took part, we are very grateful. This is the first of many. So we are going to, the next seminar will also be on a different topic that will help you as a small business or as an entrepreneur. So please, you can just keep in touch with us. The number again is 0244-896544. And we will respond to any question that will help your business. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time.
Astra ERP. Manage your business with ease.